Hi guys, me again, Moicon. Now I've been wanting to do this video for some time, but also not wanting to do the video. It's not something I overly enjoy talking about, but still, I'm going to talk about it. Ever since I was a child, I have suffered from depression and the social anxiety and paranoia that come with all that. But I'm not going to talk about that today. What I'm going to talk about instead is the therapists who I've had, some of which have helped me, some have been completely useless. So, first of all, let's go back to where it all started, when I was 8. I don't remember too much about this one. All I remember was he was a psychiatrist, and we would he would come see me at school, and we'd sit in a room somewhere. I think it was like a meeting room or some conference room or something, but we'd sit there. And I don't remember much about what happened. All I can remember is he would have this A4 page with a very crude black and white drawing of a tree, and in the tree and around the tree were different children playing and doing different things, and each of them had different expressions. And he would pose various scenarios to me, the scenarios being things that I'd gone through between visits, and tell me to point to the child which was a close representation of how I felt in that scenario. It didn't really establish much from my perspective. It didn't really help. I didn't really understand what was going on at the time. I was only 8. So yeah, I don't remember much of that one. But anyway, I think he wasn't really there as a therapist now. I think he was more there for diagnosis purposes. But I don't know. I can't remember. I wasn't told anything at the time. So yeah. Next we have... when I was 9 now. Yeah, when I was 9. I got Vera. And Vera was lovely. She would see me once a week, and it'd be every Thursday or every Friday after school. I'd get an hour again in this conference meeting room thing, and we'd just chat. She wouldn't question me about how I was feeling or any of the usual therapist stuff. We'd just chat and play games, or she'd let me draw or whatever, and she'd just sit and let me get on with whatever I wanted to do and just be there in the background. If I wanted to talk to her, she'll talk. If I wanted to play games, she'll play games. If I just wanted to get on and draw, she was basically there to let me do what I wanted and to facilitate that for me. And I really liked Vera. We got on well, and it did help because at the time I was running out of school on a daily basis. I had no respect for any authority figures or any sort of authority. I was really troubled, but I won't go into the reasons why or too much of that now. I might do it in a separate video if you want. But anyway, Vera was helping with that. I was staying in school, so she was wonderful. I had her for like 18 months, and then she either got a job elsewhere or she was retiring or something like that. One way or another, she wasn't seeing me anymore. And I remember she got me a little beanie baby. She got me a monkey beanie baby as just like a going away present thing. That became my mascot for the next year or so. I would take it with me everywhere I went. And it was a connection for me to Vera. And having that, just that tactile thing I could have on me it just reminded me of what I needed to keep me on track. Yeah, I miss Vera. Anyway, so 18 months later, I'm now like 10 and a half, coming up to 11, something like that. Let's go with 10 and a half. I get Mrs. Black. I hated Mrs. Black. I really hated Mrs. Black. Everything was my fault, according to Mrs. Black. It was my fault I was bullied because I wasn't trying to fit in enough. It was my fault. It was my fault I was being naughty. Well, it was my fault I was being sent to detention and stuff like that because I was being naughty. It was my fault. Everything was my fault, one way or another. And there was no trying to understand me. There was no reasoning or talking with me. It was just, so this is what's gone wrong. This is all the things that have gone wrong in the last week. These are why they're your fault. And that really didn't gel with me. It wasn't helping at all. I actually got worse. And Mrs. Black. I got worse. Not as worse as I was when I started, but I got worse. I mean, I started running out of school again. I started getting into fights again. So I really got worse. I can't remember how I stopped having Mrs. Black. Because I don't think she had changed job or anything. I think they must have realised it wasn't working out, and so they gave me somebody else. But yeah, I didn't have her for long. It was like only a few months, and so because this took me up to when I was 11, so it wasn't long. And then I had Mrs. Jarman, and she only lasted 2 sessions. Yeah, she only lasted 2 sessions. I have very little to say about Miss Jarman other than she insulted me in our second session quite badly, and so I stormed out of the meeting. Well, one-to-one session thing. It was in the middle of the school day, so I stormed out. One of the teachers saw me, and then went to Mrs. Jarman to try and find out what was wrong. I can't say what happened between them two, but then Mrs. Jarman came out following me, and every time Mrs. Jarman took a step closer to me, I was taking a step back. And at this point I was at the school gardens, and we had a rockery, and I picked up a rock. It would have been about that big. I picked it up and I lobbed it at Mrs. Jarman. I never saw her again after that. I can't even remember what the insult was over now, but she insulted me quite badly. Because I just remember being very angry at her at that point. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't have Mrs. Jarman after that, surprisingly. Yeah. And then that takes me on to Hillary. And like I said, with Mrs. Black I got worse. And Mrs. Jarman didn't help. Actually, before we go on to Hillary, Mrs. Jarman had an interesting approach. She would try more tactile approaches. Like, she would say she could feel my aura and would try massaging the aura to see if that helped, and I just felt really sort of embarrassed for her when she was doing this. Because she'd have me stood there and it'd just be sort of moving her arms around me. And there's what are you doing? This feels really odd. Please stop. And it didn't help at all, to be honest. It just made me feel awkward, which didn't help at all for my social anxieties. So, but anyway, she only lasted 2 sessions. And then we had Hillary. Now, I was getting a lot worse from Mrs. Black and Mrs. Jarman, and so it's no exaggeration when I say Hillary saved my life. because I was very suicidal at this point. On a weekly, if not daily basis, I was trying to take my own life, one way or another. So I got Hillary just when I needed Hillary. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here now. I owe a lot to Hillary. Sorry. So, so Hillary came along, and within the first session, it was as if she instinctively knew how I worked. She instinctively knew how to deal with that. She I don't know how, but she just knew exactly what was going on, how to deal with it, and all the rest of that. And so within the first few weeks, there was already rapid improvements in my behaviour, in my attitude, in how I could cope with daily life. And Hillary stuck with me for the last 15, 16 years now. I still have Hillary. I mean, I don't see her anymore, but I have her on speed dial in case I ever need her. And we keep in contact through emails. I never know what's going on in my life. She never knows what's going on in hers. And over the years, we've become good friends. Anyway, at the time, She got me doing martial arts. Because I had a lot of anger, a lot of rage bubbling out of this depression and stuff. And she got me doing martial arts, particularly Tai Chi especially. Because that gave me some meditative discipline where I could vent that frustration and rage, and also discipline and focus my inner self, which helped me so much with coping with daily life. And I still do to this day meditate and use that 5 minutes out of reality to calm myself and focus myself. Especially if I'm having a really bad day, I will just, nope, can't deal with this, take 5 minutes out, close my eyes, lay down. And it's amazing how much that helps. But she got me doing that. And she always, in school as well, if I was finding it really difficult, and because a lot of the time my naughtiness and acting up in school came from me finding it difficult. Not the work, but just the whole environment of school. And so I would get sent to the head teacher's office, which, Hillary got it sorted, so when this happened, I would get sent to the head teacher's office, or the principal's office for my American viewers. And I would then just sit outside the head teacher's office. I'd get an old exam paper, usually mathematics, but sometimes it was like science as well. And some orange juice. And now and again I get a small plate of biscuits as well. And I would just have to sat there for the next hour and work for the exam paper. And you won't believe how much that helped me. Because she noticed that part of the problem was my mind was not being stimulated enough. And out of boredom, it was just creating all these things which weren't helping. And so a lot of the time in school, the difficulty was coming from boredom and just my mind going off and doing stuff it shouldn't be doing. So having that stimulus, like those exam papers to work through, gave me something to occupy my mind, pull everything back in and get me back on track. Similar to what meditation and Tai Chi did. I did this and combined, they got me back on track. They got me being who I am today, and I'm still not perfect. I still struggle. Nowhere near as much as I did. But I still struggle. There's still work to do. But I can cope now. Relatively. I can cope now. I can get on with life. I can do things. I can do social stuff. And Hillary is amazed at how well I've come on socially. I still make faux pas and I still find it difficult to meet new people, but and I still have panic attacks. So I still have panic attacks when I'm in large groups or if I'm at parties and stuff. But the fact that I can actually go to those parties is just short of a miracle, I think, from what I used to be like. It's all thanks to Hillary. Hillary has done so much for me over the years. I mean, not just the Tai Chi and the exam papers, but she's done other stuff as well. She would organise just day trips for me and her to go out, just like museums or just for lunch. And I don't know. She's given me every encouragement in everything I do. She's been my best friend in some sense, in some ways. She is one of my best friends. And she saved me from myself. I'm not sure what else I can say, really, about that. Yeah. I don't know what I would have done without Hillary. Well, I do know what I would have done without Hillary. But still. She has been the most amazing person I could have wished for. And so that wraps it up for now. I think. I've got nothing else to say, really. Thank you for watching. Like I said, if you do want me to do another video about what I went through in my childhood, which led to me having to have therapy, or what it's like having depression, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'll do another video on it. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I wanted to talk through the people who have helped me through that. Yeah. So thank you for watching. I apologise it hasn't been a cheery video, but I've been wanting to make this for a while now. So until next time, bye guys.